elongate the possessions, and they're not coming down shooting very quickly. They were trying to shorten the game in that regard. So it was certainly going to come down to us making stops, which it always does. And we were not great on offense. Turned it over 15 times, didn't shoot it particularly great. Sometimes we get caught in between being very kind and considerate to our teammates to shooting a little bit too quickly. And we haven't found a great rhythm. Other than the second half of Villanova, we just haven't had a great rhythm to our game.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, John. If I knew, I'd try to fix it. Okay, we're going to do on the number 6 play, and that'll help us. It's just, again, continue to work. And we have a night like tonight where Anthony doesn't play because of his illness, and so Jake gets an opportunity. And he did some good things, and other times where we want to do better.
You talk about Devontae played well with like those 5 minutes. Talk about that.
Yeah, he did some really good things. He really did some terrific things. I think he's going to be a terrific basketball player. He's going to be hard to score against. Even his play at the end of the game, I mentioned that to our guys. He drives it on the baseline, he kicks it out to Jimmy McDonald. Jimmy goes to Daniel Dingle and makes a free. Those guys deserve more opportunity than we're giving to them. And if we would be sharper and crisper on offense, we'd have a better opportunity to get some of these guys some much needed playing time, because they deserve it, and they're hanging in the best they possibly can, but we need to give them more time.
So the offensive rhythm is why you didn't get back in there in the second half, trying to get the other guys on.
Well, it becomes a possession by possession game, and there were a couple things that you're going to see where some things he did really well, and other things he got himself caught out of position, which is going to happen. But the more he plays, the less time he's going to be out of position.
Dunphy, the record says 8-1. Is that a fair assessment of where you are?
I haven't given it a whole lot of thought, other than the fact that other than the second half of Villanova, we haven't found the way we need to play in order to win basketball games on a consistent basis. I appreciate what you're saying about the record, and it beats the alternative. But I wish I would go back into my office and I'd sit back there saying, man, we're really clicking. I haven't done that yet, other than, again, the second half.
Look at some of the shooting numbers. I mean, Scooty's a good shooter. Cleve is a good shooter. He shot well tonight, but the numbers aren't there yet. A function of the offense is a function of them not making shots they can make.
Probably all of those things. I think we're taking some shots that we shouldn't, and other times we're passing up opportunities that, again, we're trying to be very teammate friendly. So we have to recognize what's a good play and what is something we shouldn't do.
I never tried to read into body language. Were you getting a tad frustrated in the first half?
Sure. You didn't see that in my body language? Yes.
Are you expecting Anthony back for Wednesday?
Yeah, whatever the doctors and Anthony said, it's a combination of Anthony and his family and what the doctors say. I think coaches are last to know, but they'll tell me and say, okay, you're ready. But we get back in there.
During a tournament like this a couple years ago, a couple neutral site games with Leicester with some home games, do you have a preference between this or going away somewhere for 3 or 4 days and playing 3 games early in the year?
I didn't think about that, to be honest with you. But it's nice to go away sometimes because you kind of bond and you spend a lot of time together. I think there's a good part to that. So we won't do it much in this tournament because we have 3 home games and then we'll go to against Syracuse on Saturday. But yeah, I like the tournament setting where you're playing a lot of games in a short period of time, but everybody's together.
Coach Khalid got to 1,000 points. Can you just talk a little bit about that accomplishment?
Well, I mean, he's a very good scorer, and he didn't get a chance to play very much as a freshman, so that's probably the reason why it has lasted until his senior year, relatively early in his senior year, of course. But he's a terrific scorer, and he's a really good basketball player. But I don't think he's playing at the top of his game at this point, so I'm hoping that's coming together for him. And maybe he was, I don't know, I'd have to ask him if he was pressing about it. I didn't think too much about it. So it came as a little bit of a surprise to me that he actually got the 1,000 points. But in terms of happening tonight, I certainly expected him to get it because he is such a terrific scorer.
Bring a lot of changes this week with the Big East and 7 schools announcing they were leaving. Your thoughts on that and what you feel about the future of the conference?
Well, I think we're in a state of flux at this point. No one really knows exactly what is going to happen. I feel very good about where Temple is positioned, no matter what happens. I think we have a wonderful university and a great city, basketball program that has had great history and tradition to it. So I feel really good about where Temple is, but if I couldn't venture a guess as to how everything is going to all come together, nor when. That's all, when it's all going to come together.
Was it disappointing to hear that those schools were leaving, or did you just kind of take it?
You know, I don't think, this is not new stuff. This has been happening over the last 6 months. Teams have been jockeying for a position, and there's nothing that, as a basketball coach, I don't have any control over that. What I have control over, and I didn't obviously do a great job with it tonight, is our offense and how crisp we are. So there's not much you can do, and at this point, the only thing we can control is where we are this year and what we are doing, and have great faith and trust in our administration, and something, but I think something positive will happen for Temple University because of how good a place this is.
More questions?